Good morning. My name is, it's so great that there are people to say good morning back to me this morning. I love it. My name is Karen C. Morales, and I serve as the clerk on the DuPage UU Church Board of Trustees. We want to welcome everyone this morning to our open and inclusive virtual community. As Unitarian Universalists, we hold that there are many spiritual paths to truth and meaning, and we pledge to support one another as we walk these paths. We are so glad you were able to find us and join us for our live stream service this morning. Please check the church website at dupageuchurch.org for updates. If you search under DuPage UU Church on Facebook, you will find a number of ways to be in community with us as well. This morning, we would love for you to join us at noon for Science Sunday. Join with our YouTube link that appears on the church website homepage, the same link used to join this service. Next Sunday, we will again have our Zoom coffee hour. That Zoom link can be found on the Members tab of the website and in the weekly church email. One additional announcement. A reminder that today at noon, we will also be having a socially distanced picnic on the church grounds. Bring your camp chair, your blanket, and your picnic lunch, and join us in celebrating our T.A.G youth.
Steve Cooper, the Director of Religious Education for this church. Growing up is the hardest thing we'll ever do, and it really is all we ever do. We move through each stage, learning all we can, and then figuring out what's important and what can be left behind. We look for counsel, we resist advice. We acquire everything we think is important and pack our luggage. And then we struggle trying to carry backpacks too heavy. We unload, we go on, and maybe later we find out that what we left behind was what we needed and what we brought with us was not helpful. And so we start our journey again, learning, acquiring, sorting through our backpack, leaving stuff behind, choosing pathways, feeling bound, feeling alone, feeling crowded in. As each of us grows, through childhood to adolescence to adulthood, through stages of discovery and mastery of each stage of our lives, we encounter challenges of casting off clothes which no longer fit us, of knowing ourselves anew, of feeling our own worth, and of finding what freedom really means. And it seems to me that we go through it over and over and over. The journey is not a single continuous path. We continually repeat the cycle of feeling free, becoming encumbered, striving to understand and to learn more, and then freeing ourselves again until finally we can know ourselves and become ourselves. In this morning's service, we are celebrating the passage of 4 young people from adolescence to adulthood in our church community. Alex, Cassidy, Mason, and Josh have all been active and involved in our congregation. Some of them have been attending classes in our religious education program most, if not all, of their lives. And last September, this group responded to an invitation to our high school juniors and seniors to be a part of what we call our T.A.G class, which stands for Transition, Affirmation, and Graduation. T.A.G serves both as the culmination of our church's religious education program for children and youth, and as a bridge to the adult life in this church. Each student, or as we call them, mentee, is paired with an adult mentor from the congregation. And throughout the year, we have met to explore the 6 areas that we believe to be important to one's ongoing life in a Unitarian Universalist congregation. And these areas are UU history and theology, social action, community building, church leadership, and worship. And from their discussions, activities with their mentors, and their own life experiences, this group of mentees have created today's service. This is their opportunity to present to you their beliefs and the journey that influenced their beliefs. As members of a creedless faith tradition that covenants to affirm and promote acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, as well as a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, we welcome them back. We welcome them and look forward to experiencing what they have prepared for us. And today we are doing something a little different. We actually have the youth and the mentors here in the sanctuary. All the music for today was pre-recorded, so that it is only the youth and their mentors here today.
highlight this chapter is because our church is where all people are accepted and where we keep learning together.
Mentors change lives. Being the right person at the right time may be enough to change a person's life forever. Human beings are constantly changing, whether for good or for the bad. We do not stay the same. Having a positive influence in the form of a mentor can make or break a person's life. Years from now, we will remember the adults that changed our lives. In some cases, they may have been the first people that believed in us.
That experience of having an authority figure believe that we could succeed carries us forever. We want to acknowledge and thank our T.A.G mentors. During the past 7 months, our mentors have accompanied us on our journey, sometimes leading us and sometimes letting us lead.
They shared their life experiences with us and listened to our stories. But most importantly, they took time out of their lives to be our companion as we transitioned from adolescence into adulthood. I would like for each mentor to come forward as we call their name and receive a rose from their mentee as a token of our appreciation.
Karen Campbell is my mentor.
Carl Nash is my mentor.
Becky Trombley-Freitag is my mentor.
Diane Gelder is my mentor.
Please join me in the spoken affirmation, which will be followed by the sung affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
This is a reading by Thomas Hine. Our beliefs about teenagers are deeply contradictory. They should be free to become themselves. They need many more years of training and study. They know more about the future than adults do. They hardly know anything at all. They ought to know the value of $1. They should be protected from the world of work. They are frail, vulnerable creatures. They are children. They are fiends. They are the death of culture. They are the hope of us all. We love the idea of youth, but are prone to panic about the young. The very qualities that adults find exciting and attractive about teenagers are entangled with those we find terrifying. Their energy threatens anarchy. Their physical beauty and budding sexuality menaces moral standards. Their assertion of physical and intellectual power makes their parents at once proud and painfully aware of their own mortality. These qualities, the things we love, fear, and think we know about the basic nature of young people, constitute a teenage mystique, a seductive but damaging way of understanding young people. This mystique encourages adults to see teenagers and young people to see themselves not as individuals, but as potential problems. Such a pessimistic view of the young can easily lead adults to feel that they are powerless to help young people make better lives for themselves. Thus, the teenage mystique can serve as an excuse for elders to neglect the coming generation and ultimately to see their worst fears realized.
I'm Alex Marble, and this is my mentor, Diane Gelder. This is what I believe. I believe in doing the good for the most people while harming the least. I also believe that the end can never justify the means, nor the means justify the end. I also believe that people do what they view to be right and needed. I find that the greater good allows unnecessary harm to certain groups, and despite being done in the name of the greater good, the unnecessary harm makes it necessary to find another way, as the good done cannot justify the harm done. It is usually impossible to entirely prevent harm, however it is possible to minimize the harm done, or the number of people affected, and if an effort is made to minimize the harm as much as possible, then the good done outweighs the harm done, as long as an effort is made to prevent the harm. If the way something is done is being used to justify the end result, then it often does not make the end result worth it if the means are already doing enough. The end goal, no matter how good, does not justify the harm caused by the means to get there, if there is even a bit of doubt about whether or not it was worth it. People usually do what they view to be right. Whether or not others view that as right doesn't change if the person had good intentions behind their actions. People naturally seek to work with others, other like-minded individuals, to advance their goals and views.
Please join us in singing Wake Now My Senses in the Gray Hymnal, number 298.
Wake now, compassion, give heed to the Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race. Wake now, my vision of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance near. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care.
This is a reading titled Map of the Journey in Progress by Victoria Safford. Here is where I found my voice and chose to be brave. Here is a place where I forgave someone against my better judgment, and I survived that. And unexpectedly, amazingly, I became wiser. Here's where I was once forgiven, was ready for once in my life to receive forgiveness and to be transformed. And I survived that also. I lived to tell the tale. This is the place where I said no, more loudly than I'd thought I ever could, and everybody stared, but I said no loudly anyway, because I knew it must be said. And those staring settled down into harmless, ineffective grumbling, and over me, they had no power anymore. Here is a time, and here's another, where I laid down my fear and walked right on into it, right up to my neck, into that roiling water. Here's where cruelty taught me something, and here's where I was first astonished by gratuitous compassion, and knew it for the miracle it was, the requirement it was. It was a trembling time. And here, much later, is where I returned the blessing, clumsily. It wasn't hard, but I was unaccustomed to it. It cycled round, and as best I could, I sent it back on out, passed the gift along. This circular motion, around and around, has no apparent end. Here's a place, a murky puddle, where I have stumbled more than once and fallen. I don't know yet what there is to learn there. On this site, I was outraged, and the rage sustains me still. It clarifies my seeing. And here's where something caught me, a warm breeze in late winter, birdsong in late summer. Here's where I was told something was wrong with my eyes, that I see the world strangely, and here's where I said, yes, I know, I walk in beauty. Here is where I began to look with my own eyes, and listen with my ears, and sing my own song, shaky as it is. Here is where, as if by surgeon's knife, my heart was opened up, and here, and here, and here, and here. These are the landmarks of conversion.
I am Cassidy Plett, and this is my mentor, Becky. This is what I believe. What I believe in isn't a simple question. I believe in the wind blowing through the trees. I believe in the water that everything needs to live. I believe in the sun, the moon, and the stars. I believe in science. I believe in what I can touch. But I also believe in more than that. I believe everyone has a choice, and they're all correct. If someone believes in heaven, that's where they go. If they believe in reincarnation or nirvana, that's what happens. It's the same for gods and goddesses. Music, art, magic, and intention mean everything to me. Like life, my beliefs are constantly ebbing and flowing. However, it's been a constant that I don't believe in one certain religion. In the waterfall of beliefs, I sit at the bottom, grabbing the ones that catch my eye. I combine them, carefully creating my perfect experience. Sometimes I just watch them flow. I don't catch any because they simply are not mine to catch. In terms of a religion, I don't own any, and none own me. We are purely two entities flowing side by side. There may be times when we touch, and times where I don't see it for months. But I know if I ever need it, it will be here for me.
Please join us in singing There Is More Love Somewhere from the Gray Hymnal, number 95.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
This is a reading by John Gibbons. I think we have been looking at our youth a little differently, knowing that a most powerful alchemy, a promising, perishable, volatile, exalted, and delicate alchemy is occurring within them. This alchemy is the process of discerning and becoming who they will be beyond the families of their birth as adults in the larger world. This process, of course, is unending and continual. One has to be dead for this process to be finished. We are all still trying to figure out what it means to be a human being, what it means to be an adult, and in adolescence, nonetheless, this process is especially formative and formidable.
I am Mason House, and this is my mentor, Karen Campbell.
Mason has loved the music group Brother Sun for a long time. He likes to sing their songs when he can. Mason doesn't know what he is going to do for the rest of his life. He felt like singing a song about what he might do in the future was a really good song to sing for T.A.G.
What shall I do?
with these hands of mine.
Mason, Cassidy, Josh, and Alex. This is a reading by Kendall Gibbons, a previous minister of this church. None of us can provide all the answers that you will need as your life unfolds. We know that the greatest joys and the highest satisfactions are given to those who are faithful to their ideals, their promises, and their friends. It does not matter if the world looks with disdain or suspicion upon the gifts that you bring. Give them anyway. In the end, you must answer to your own conscience. Trust yourself and strive to be worthy of trust. Remember, all that lives must die, and do not fear to love, but embrace grief when it comes to you. You will never know everything, but be persistent and desire to learn more. Wisdom will grow. To do what you know is wrong or to cause pain needlessly will always damage yourself in the long run. The more you look for the best in others, the more you will it to happen. Be of good courage. Willingly do your share of the world's work, and remember that you are greatly loved.
I am Josh Culver, and this is my mentor, Carl Nash. This is what I believe. I believe that somewhere out in our universe, there is something much bigger than us. Whether you call it a god or a deity, an alien or some sort of entity, there is something out there that could easily influence and overpower us all. Personally, however, I believe that it simply does not care for just humanity. I believe there's many other civilizations just like us out there, that we are just one of so many others that were guided by this force. In the time since these revelations happened in humanity's past, these beliefs have continued to stay prevalent in our world today. I believe that this is because of the lost faith in each other, the faith that someone or something out there can save humanity and stop all of our infighting, all of our problems. What I believe in is the fact that somewhere out there, there's something proving that we're nothing more than a speck in a vast cosmic sea, that we're a species of people that has to stick together to stay alive in this vast place. No matter what form it comes in, no matter what you call it, it's above us and capable of far more than us. And I think it's something that should bring humanity together, not tear us apart over the littlest conflicts. Personally, that's what I believe in.
I come on Sunday morning feeling weary, having worn out the snooze button on my alarm clock. I come on Sunday feeling frightened, having seared my eyes reading the latest news. I come on Sunday feeling burdened, having fretted about my workday worries. But I leave Sunday service refreshed, having been renewed by the spirit of love in the community that exists here. I leave Sunday service feeling whole, feeling lifted up by the words of righteous challenge. I leave Sunday service feeling energized, ready to continue our fight for justice and peace. This haven, this refuge, this place of worship and wonder exists because we make it so with our contributions. The gifts of our time, our skills, our food, our love, our laughter, and our money. Please join me in giving so that we may continue to have a place that fortifies and challenges us in these trying and troubled times.
When it's late December, dark and cold, where is the light? When old man year is bending low, where is the light? When the sun runs off to bed too soon, where is the light? And there's nothing but a skinny moon, where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. When it's dark each morning when I rise, where is the light? And it's dark when my eggs are frying, where is the light? And it's dark when off to work I go, where is the light? And it's dark again when I get home, where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. It's in my skin and in my bones, in my heart and in my soul. The light of life is so bright and golden, like a summer day. When the sun goes missing in the sky, it is rising in my eyes, chasing all that winter gloom away. I'm burning bright like kerosene. Where is the light? And I'm twinkling like the Pleiades. Where is the light? And I'm dancing like a candle flame. Where is the light? And I'm flaming like a fruit flambe. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Oh, light's inside of me. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Since September, the T.A.G class has met monthly, focusing on one of the 6 topics mentioned earlier. Each topic has a colored bead associated with it, and once a T.A.G team accomplishes certain tasks for each topic, the mentee earns that bead. The mentors gathered recently and used the beads to make a necklace for their mentee, and I added a chalice pendant to recognize their accomplishment in standing before you today and stating their beliefs. And I would like to call forward each T.A.G team and have the mentor give their mentee their necklace of beads. Alex Mirabali and his mentor, Diane Gelder. Cassidy Plett and their mentor, Becky Trombley Freitag. Mason Els and his mentor, Karen Campbell. Josh Culver and his mentor, Carl Nash. You who stand before us today have grown beyond the child you once were. With each new day, you learn more about yourself, your world, your loyalties and devotions. The wisdom you have gained in our free faith will serve you well on the journey before you. Today, we gather to honor you at this time of change and transformation. The Greek philosopher Plato compared the human mind to a ship on which the sailors have mutinied and locked the captain and navigator in a cabin. On such a ship, the sailors feel free to steer the ship as they like, but their direction is erratic. The goal of our religious education and youth programming in Unitarian Universalist congregations has been to help you free your navigator and captain, and to guide you as you have learned to take command of your ship of life. Today, you sail your ship out of the safe harbor of this church community, but know that your ship joins a mighty fleet of kindred souls facing the storms together. Today, you steer to ports unknown, but know that wherever you drop anchor, fellow travelers are there to greet you, to guide you, and to be your companions, whatever joys or difficulties your journey may bring. Congratulations to our T.A.G class of 2021. Before we end with our closing song, I want to mention that if you study the words to Blue Boat Home, it may occur to you that the song is about taking a journey. And not just any journey, one where there is a lot of soul searching and trying to figure things out. Sun may sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, just like our youth have been doing for the past 7 months in the T.A.G program. Please join us in singing hymn number 1064 in the Teal Hymnal, Blue Boat Home.
Still my drive stretching beyond. Great the infinite sea before me. Sing the sky my Savior's song. I was born upon the fathoms. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
A few months ago, the T.A.G group did a community project where they reached out to the congregation and asked them to send in drawings with messages of encouragement. The group also created many themselves, and they sent these messages of encouragement to members of our congregation who we felt were confined, isolated, elderly, or just needed to know that we cared. The group thought it would be great to share these messages now with everyone so that they are part of our postlude. So thank you for joining us today, and you are invited to join us here in person at noon for a socially distanced picnic. Bring your own picnic and some chairs.